Own your story or your story will own you. Hey guys, my name is Mr. Cătălin and you are listening to I Love Failure, the podcast where I talk to people about professional failures and what they learn from them. The I Love Failure movement started with an idea, to change people's relationship with failure. Since then we had sold out events in many cities where people get on stage and talk about professional failures with a room full of people. This week I sit down with Bonea. He is a comedian, writer, copywriter, vlogger, blogger, and lead singer in a band, and still not making $1 million a year.
I don't know, that was the starting point that I realized a little bit too late, if you ask me. That's the thing I'm blaming myself for, that Facebook and most of the internet platforms are not, okay for debating or for discussion. It's probably because we're so mixed. I know we have some mixed beliefs,
Before we begin this week's episode, I would like to thank MySpace for hosting this podcast. If you're looking for flexible office spaces for companies of any size, MySpace is the place for you. Also, if you want to support the I Love Failure movement, you can go to ilovefailure.co/support. That's ilovefailure.co/support, where you can become a Patreon or buy cool merchandise. Thank you and enjoy the show. Hello, George. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for the invitation. Nice place, good light, good sound.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Thanks MySpace again for hosting us. Look, you're doing a lot of things. Stand-up comic, writer, vlogger, blogger, all those stuff. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you start to do all these things?
I think it's something that I started doing since I was, teenager. I started a blog. It wasn't a really famous one. I was in high school and I was writing things I was observing in my school. And at some point, I met a woman much older than me. She was in university. She was working in a radio station, and she prompted me in that area. And since then, I'm jumping from a place to another. Journalism, blogging, vlogging, and I think 8 years ago I started doing stand-up comedy.
So is this about the attention? You like to play with people's attention?
I think I want attention.
Oh, right. Everybody does, yeah. Especially
comedians and vloggers and everyone else is staying on Facebook and Instagram. And I think I like the attention, but now I'm kind of going in a shadier place. I'm getting a little bit bored of this attention, and recently I had a, what would you call, fail on Facebook with a post I made, and I recently discovered that Facebook is not a healthier environment anymore.
What do you mean a fail with the post? What could happen with?
Yeah, I had a post about a teenage girl dressed a little bit I really don't know how to put this because it will probably get another backfire. It was about a girl I saw on the street late at night, and she was dressed really in a real pornographic way, as we can all see, in the movies. I made a post about this and about the fact that she was putting herself in great danger, wearing practically nothing. And that backfired because I started to get a big wave of feminists and feminazis on my Facebook account, saying that I'm against women, I'm against the liberty to wear whatever you want. And some people, a few of them, explained, no, George tried to say that it's quite dangerous in a society like ours to dress that, pornographic.
Casual. I don't know.
No, you're casual. You're casual. She was not casual. And that was the starting point that I realized a little bit too late, if you ask me. That's the thing I'm blaming myself for, that Facebook and most of the internet platforms are not, okay for debating or for discussion. It's probably because we're so mixed. I know we have some mixed beliefs nowadays.
Yeah, sure. We're not raised under one television like in communism with
Yeah,
everybody.
that's a good thing. But from what I've read in the past years about postmodernism and social justice warriors and I don't know, feminist movement, the fourth, I don't know, layer of feminism, I think it's called, and everything that's happening in the world, I think it's better to lay back, buy yourself a nice home outside of the city, and I don't know, take care of bees or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing with this post and stuff, I mean, I'm looking at everybody. I think someone like you is like really anti-fragile. I mean, whatever it is good commercial. Is what I thought. I don't know if it's good to get a lot of attention, even negative or positive attention. It's still, it's gonna pass. I see it like waves, and it's going.
When you mean anti-fragile, you speak about Taleb definition?
Yeah, I mean, it's helping your whatever it is you're doing. It's only getting you bigger.
At some point, it's not about that because you're getting bigger. I have a project since last year, the motivational speaker, and that project got me really high and a big chunk of attention from everyone else. But at a certain point, some kind of attention, it's not healthy for you. Even the positive one, because you can really go up, I don't know, in a false perspective about yourself. But bad publicity is publicity, but it's still bad. I mean, that's not good overall for yourself. Okay, people are talking about yourself. Probably you'll sell more books, you'll sell more stand-up comedy tickets, but overall you'll have, I don't mean it in a spiritual way, but you'll have a bad karma around yourself. And I think I'm getting a little bit tired also. I mean, it's fun. I had a personal policy on my Facebook page, no block. You can say whatever you want. Let's have a discussion about a lot of topics. I don't know, whatever boosts my mind. But now I got a little bit bored and I think angry because it wasn't about a debate. It was more about blaming someone. And of course, what I'm saying now, it can be stamped as, I don't know, that I'm playing the good guy when I was the bad guy. I mean, the society is so polarized that I don't know if the correct term. I mean, I think the sunglasses are polarized, but I don't know that society.
I have no idea. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know what's the word for that. So. So people are
getting boring.
People are basically looking to blame people for everything.
In the beginning, I had a mixed feeling about the term looking to be, I don't know, what's the complete phrase? Looking to be offended. It sounded like something like that a conservative person would say. But now, knowing myself that I'm not a conservative, I'm saying, a lot of people nowadays are looking to be offended. I mean, they're staying in the crowd and they're like, okay, that offends me at some degree. And I want a non-offensive society. And that's not just, I don't know, surreal, that's plain stupid.
Yeah.
Because we're so different that we can put a mark on what's offensive or not. Okay, we can track some points. I mean,
like the extremes, like walking naked for I don't know. So
even that's a problem because there are a lot of persons that say no. Let me walk naked across the street, and I'll oblige you to not stare at me. You don't have the right to stare at me while I'm naked. Because it's my liberty. And I said, okay, it's your liberty, but you're still crazy.
Yeah, but there is a law. I mean, there is the law where it says, okay, this is out of,
My girlfriend has this catchphrase that she got from Family Guy, if you know the...
Yeah, I know the show.
The show. And whenever we hear an argument like, I want to walk naked on the street. I want to drink. I want to take drugs. I want to do whatever I want because I'm a free person. She says, quoting from Stewie, "We live in a society." And that's, I think, is brilliant because we have laws. Okay, are good laws, are bad laws? It remains for bigger discussion to make. But we have to follow some, I don't know, some ground rules.
Yeah, of course. And oblige by them. If you can fight with them when they create them, it's okay. But
not all laws are absurd. I mean, not walking naked on the street in a country like Romania or I think it's a good law. Do it if you want, but you have to assume that
there are beaches for something like that. So
yeah.
Okay, so you started with the blogging and all this stuff. I know that you've worked for some time in a company. Then
I've been a journalist for I think 6 or 7 years. Radio DJ, how they call it today, or radio host. And then I've worked in the Charlie Hebdo public a newspaper from Romania, the version, Charlie Hebdo version of Romania, Academia Cațavencu. And at some point I was getting really bored. I had a lot of time, of free time. And I've heard that in advertising it's it's a free space for creativity and you can make great things. And I said, okay, I have a lot of free time. I think I'm creative. Let's do something. 6 years later, I've discovered that it's not really that creative. It's interesting. I'm
in advertising, like what, copywriting?
Copywriting, yes, copywriting. In agency most of the time. Now I'm a freelancer, copywriter. Part of that things I'm doing today, it's copywriter as a freelancer. But now I'm more realistic about what I'm doing. There's no unicorn. Trophy running, con and all that stuff are just, in my opinion, a lot of bullshit. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah, okay. Of course, it's a free.
It's a free. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's a free country. Express yourself. And I'm taking more, in a cynical way. Okay, you need my brain to sell your product. I probably love you or hate your product. That depends on my point of view. And I'll do whatever I can to help you in exchange of, some money.
Time for money, right?
Energy
for money, right?
Yeah, but I have a problem with time for money. That's one of the main reasons I left the agency and the standard way of doing advertising. In an agency, going to an office, 1 hour to the office, to go 1 hour back, and that. Because I've discovered that, I don't know if you had an interview with someone from the work domain in a wider perspective, but I have a real problem with buying my time. Because when you're... because when you're buying my time, it's something unjust I'm doing to myself. Because as a copywriter, you don't need me 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you don't need me in an office getting bored, watching, TV shows or movies or listen to music.
Like faking that you're working.
Yeah, faking that I'm working. You don't need me. Especially when you're striving to get something creative out of me. I mean, I'm in the same place, 8 hours a day, from Monday to Friday, and you say, okay, be creative. I'm still here. I don't need this place. You don't need me to get to watch a TV show here. Let me go into the park, to go to a coffee shop, and be creative there. Okay, and then I'll come back to the office. I'll show you my ideas, and we'll make it from there. But no, they say I bought you for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll stay here like like an animal, and just stay.
Stay here and just to see you there, because they don't want to.
But I think from what I've heard, it's not a majority's problem. Some copywriters, some people like to work in an office. I mean, they need the structure.
Yeah.
But I think it's a wider discussion. Okay, why do you need the structure? We're going at more therapeutic.
You go back to the school. These are the people I think that are very good at school, that learn. Like have.
But you can also learn at home. You can also learn somewhere else. It's.
Just one question: were you good at school, or were you like
mediocre?
But you finished everything. You went
B, C in American.
So did you finish college or something?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Whoa! You're the first one on the show who finished college. So.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Okay, I was just a curiosity. Usually, people who become like entrepreneur freelancers have some problems with school, but still.
And they finish high school and then.
High school, basically, yeah. And I don't know if you have patience for college, but.
Actually, today at 2:00 I have an interview for a master. I don't know, to go to a master in sociology.
Oh, so you're pushing with the school.
Yeah. I wasn't good in school. I think in high school I discovered punk music, and I was in my rebellion period. But now I think I'm hungry for knowledge. For some years I've discovered anthropology, psychology, sociology, and it's really interesting, especially when you're doing stand-up comedy and advertising, because now I'm happy to say that I'm better at understanding consumers and in advertising domain and the audience in stand-up.
You see the purpose, when I did college, I didn't see the purpose of learning to do I don't know what. So now you want to. I want to study that because you got some life experience and you want to like deepen some parts of it. You know what you want, basically.
I wanted to be a journalist since I was 10.
Whoa!
It was like a big dream. I had some. Influencers back in the days like Dinescu. He was and even Cristoiu. I know that today that's a really bad thing to say, but when I was a kid, Cristoiu was something. Was a good journalist. Then Iulius Constantinescu, a good journalist too. And when I was 10, I was like, I'm gonna be a journalist. Actually, a newspaper one. I was in the writing domain. Then I discovered radio and so on. But now journalism is broken. That's the word. I mean, there's nothing good to do in journalism anymore. You can try, you can want. There are a lot of people that want to do good journalism, but you really can't.
I see the guys. Actually, tomorrow we're gonna have talk with a lot of podcasters in a show about failure, and there is one from Reporter. They are doing some things. Reporter.ro,
okay.
So they seem to do some kind of
Reporter, not
Reporter.
Okay, because Recorder.
Fuck.
Okay.
Recorder, not Reporter.
They're doing a great job. Actually, they're pretty much the last one. I think Recorder, Press One, maybe.
Press One, yeah.
There are a few. I mean, a handful.
Yeah, but they are looking for new ways of monetizing, like people paying for content.
Yeah, Patreon and donations. But that's the only way you can sustain a good journalist.
Of course, yeah.
But they're unlucky because in Romania you don't have a lot of people that appreciate good journalism. I mean, they deserve a lot of money for what they're doing, because they're investing in their project, but people don't appreciate this, and it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's nothing strictly in Romania, and that's the sad part.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so can you tell us, a story?
A major fail?
I don't know, major, minor, something that marked you a little bit in your career, because you had to have a lot of failures on what you're doing here. I mean,
nothing major from what I'm.
Smaller. That doesn't have to be very big. I mean,
nothing that got me. I don't know, unemployed or something. But when I worked in the radio station, I think this is a common mistake for radio DJs. I forgot my voice on air.
Oh,
Yeah, and I said something about the song it was playing in that moment. Nothing good, nothing appreciative. No, it was some dance, I don't know, commercial music, I don't know. And it was okay because it was late at night.
it was
The
not.
audience was okay,
Did
funny.
did I just heard that?
Yeah, it's a new mix.
Yeah.
So we're listening to a shitty song with commentary. But I don't know. I think a fail for what I'm thinking from what I'm thinking now are some texts I had on my blog in the past. Because I was reading some of the texts I wrote 5-6 years ago, and I was thinking, really cheap, really cheap writing.
Yeah, but this is from the beginning. Everybody is doing a lot.
Yeah. I think we all do that, but I really don't like my writing from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. But I guess not your stand-up, not anything from the beginning.
Oh yeah, the stand-up. Okay, a big fail. Now I remember. Thank you. A big fail. My first stand-up comedy show, I was dressed as Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because I thought it's going to be funny. It was a little bit. I mean, for the first.
Was this an open mic or?
No.
Oh.
Plain stupid. I never done stand-up until then. And I was like, yeah, I'll do one hour show.
1 hour?
Yeah, because I was that stupid. And that, I don't know, Dunning-Kruger, actually. And I said, for a more comic effect, I'll dress as Scooby-Doo. I had a costume because in that period I was working as a clown for school and, I don't know, children parties and something like that. And I said, I have this costume, the Scooby-Doo, and I'll say serious jokes about religion, politics, dressed as Scooby-Doo with green hair. I was...
Whoa.
Yeah. The whole picture is so sad and funny in my mind. And I still have that video because I recorded the whole show. And whenever I have a bad day, I go in the closet, push the play button, and...
How did you get the people to perform? Usually you have to go through some, people know you a little bit to...
The voucher period, if you remember.
No.
8 years ago in Romania, it was a voucher hysteria. You bought anything on the internet, a voucher is like, 5 lei, the amount of $1. And you said something, and the audience was like, okay, a $1 ticket for stand-up comedy. How bad can it be? I think
they overpaid.
Yeah, they really overpaid. Yeah, that was a big fail. But I'm really grateful that some comedians helped me. I mean, Radu Isac. We met a little bit later that year, and he saw something. I mean, okay, lose the outfit, the green hair. Okay, can be something. I really don't know. But the material, okay, you can work with it. But cut, I don't know, 90% of it.
Yeah, whoa.
But a good advice and a good comedian.
And he helped you bounce back, basically, because you're gonna...
He opened another door. I mean, I opened myself that door. I made a fool out of myself, and not in a good way as a comedian. And he said, okay, we have this place where we're doing professional stand-up comedy. If you want to come and, try 2 minutes of material now, next week 3 minutes, and so on and so on. And
yeah, that's very good.
yeah, I was lucky in that. Actually, I was pretty lucky most of the time in my career. I mean, I was lucky meeting that girl that got me to the radio station. I was lucky with Radu Isac. I was lucky even in advertising because I had no experience, really no experience. I knew nothing. When my ex-boss told me you have to make a headline for, coffee brand, my headline was, I think half of page. He was like, what's this? Is this a novel?
Yeah.
When he told me to write a radio station spot, when I was looking at the end of the thing I was writing, it was more like a movie with effects, with things crazy about I don't know, the product and.
It's the beginning for everything. It's
but
crazy.
I was lucky. And,
you have supportive people, because when I started to do stand-up comedy, I fucked up as big as you.
You tried?
Yeah,
I had
did
no
it
idea.
for 1 year. I did
Really?
this stuff, and I actually started.
When?
I think 6 years ago. But I went to a nervous breakdown with this shit.
It's consuming.
It's consuming. And when I got to Bucharest, because the first time I did it in Pitești, and nobody knew me. So
at Hush?
Hush and one more club. I did 2 clubs. But again, like you, nobody knew me. I said I'm going to do 1 hour.
Okay.
I wrote my material.
So I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
But stand-up is consuming.
Yeah.
Did you have your depressed period?
Well, when I got to Bucharest, I got hustled here. I didn't know what that is.
Okay.
So here people are more aggressive. They knew about stand-up comedy. We're not laughing just to laugh. And some guys in the audience saw me, as a target, because I wasn't very sure of myself in the beginning. And, they started to make fun of me, and I couldn't come back. I had hustlers, basically. So that really fucks you up. One guy just threw me off the stage. I got through a lot of...
Whoa.
And there was nobody there to,
a bouncer or something like that?
Yeah. And my biggest...
At an open mic?
Open mics, yeah. I went to open mics, but it was not Club 99, it was other places.
But this thing you're talking about happened at an open mic?
Where they kicked me out?
Yes.
Yeah, open mic.
Man.
Yeah, it's
tough city.
Tough city.
Really tough city.
And the last time was in Vama Veche, and that was it. That was when I had a nervous breakdown and, okay, fuck this thing, I'm not good for...
Bonea?
Bonea, yeah, with the guys there. It was fun for them, not so fun for me. I tried to do some George Carlin shit and it didn't work out.
Yeah, first of all, George Carlin is really big for Romanian audience, and second of all, it's not cool to steal material.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't steal material. I was just like angry at everybody. Bikers, people.
Okay. You had the spirit of George Carlin.
But it was my own material, but it sucked.
That never works in the beginning.
No. I had everything written down. I tried to do it, but
it's really good that you passed I don't know. I had my shitty period in stand-up. 4 years ago, I went to my last, stand-up fest. It's a battle between comedians. And I had a really big fail. I've lost it since the first round, and I took it really, really bad. I mean, really bad. 1 month of staying mostly in bed, and it was not good for me. But I went to therapy, and now I'm really okay.
Yeah, I had to go to therapy. I couldn't, after the last set, I could not... I was afraid of everybody, basically. I was aggressive. I was always like in flight or fight mode all the time, always angry.
Yeah, and that's actually weird, because stand-up should make you protect yourself. I mean, when I was a kid, I was the shortest and the thinnest one in the class. Most of the time I got, kicked, or I ran a lot. In school.
So you're the opposite of the bully, right?
Yeah, I was bullied a lot, but I discovered that comedy is my only weapon. That's what I did, and most of the time I'm still doing it. I mean, if someone's getting aggressive, I know I don't have the strength to fight with him, but I think I can get a few laughs, make him feel small.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's a great feeling.
Yes, it is.
I could go to the gym.
The problem with me is my brain. It's like the voice got so, like even when I got on stage, it would start to be, who the fuck are you to talk to these people? It would downplay me so hard, it was crazy. And it got over, after the show, it got even harder. It was like I was in paranoia when I smoked something. I was paranoid all the time, just my brain going wild.
Yeah. And I can't even imagine what you've been through, because I've been luckier. I mean, I had my share of hustlers and bad shows, but nothing like that. Actually, once I've got kicked in the head with a glass of wine.
Well, that sounded...
It was a good wine, actually. It was like,
You were funny about it.
1973, a good year for my forehead. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, the worst one for me was here in Centru Bucharest. There was one guy who was actually the guy opening the show.
Oh, the MC.
The MC, yeah. And I had some number with some girls, and his girlfriend was there. And I tried to sit near her and tried to do a number with his girlfriend, basically. But it was funny. Everybody was laughing. Everything was okay. And he started running all the way and came to me and took the microphone from my hand and get the fuck out of here. And that's what he said, like really in the middle of the show.
Who the fuck's that guy?
He's on television now. So
Yeah, just say it.
No, it's okay. They after that they said, look, we're sorry, but the damage was done. I mean, they kicked me out and they said, you're never gonna do comedy here. Get the fuck out of here. And I could not speak. He took the mic. There was nothing I could do.
Actually really curious who that guy is.
I'm gonna tell you.
You're gonna tell me after, but I have he's on
so-
television. There are not a lot of comedians on television nowadays.
Yeah, no, it's one of the big ones. So
Yeah, I think he's one of the big ones, but
get the fuck
most
out
of
here.
a lot of the big ones are a shitty person. They were.
Yeah, maybe he had a moment. He was like very
As a comedian,
As a comedian, yeah, it's very hard
it's-
to see that. As, you don't take things so personally. You always have a sense of humor about things. And
But I'm sorry for him. But come back in the industry. We need the fresh humor.
yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing the failure thing, and it seems to. I lost my confidence, like speaking in public, and then I started to do this failure. And I know I can speak in front of 100 people. There's no problem, but just not try to be funny. That's the.
Yeah, anyway, it's a good thing to talk about failures. It's still funny in a way.
Yeah, sure. I do some small material, like when I'm trying to present people, I do some small things, but. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the thing is that I'm very curious, and many people are curious about.
A lot
of people.
Everybody is.
Yeah, how can you do all these things? I mean, it seems like a lot of things that you're doing, and how do you have time? They're all in the same direction? How can you manage, like being a singer, stand-up comic, vlogger, blogger, write the book? How can you?
I'm trying to keep a schedule. I mean, I wake up early in the morning. I make the copywriting part of the day.
So you make the money, and then
I make the money.
Then you have fun with
For 2-3 hours. I make the money. Then I don't know. I relax a little bit. And I think it's something about the flow I have during the day. Okay, the rehearsal with the band, it's scheduled. It's once or twice a week. Stand-up comedy shows still scheduled once or twice a week. But I can manage the time to find inspiration and to write for a book or to make the blog post or to, I don't know, record the podcast. I think everybody has time. But when I was working and when I was going to the office, I come back to what we were saying before. 8 hours doing nothing in some days, or doing something for 1 hour and then 7 hours of staying and staring at the walls because
you could not work on your stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't work on my stuff because I couldn't find the inspiration there. And 2 hours driving to the work and back, and driving, going with the bus or metro or something like that. But I think I'm okay.
So
there are days and days.
Schedule. You're very organized.
I try to be. I'm not always very organized, but
you don't look organized, but you are basically
a
because
little
you
bit.
couldn't do.
If I didn't kept a schedule, I couldn't do anything.
And for like getting back from, I don't know, something bad like hustling or whatever it is, I know it didn't happen to you so often, but do you have like a system to, when you fuck up, how do you bounce back from that? Do you have
in what, in stand-up comedy or
no in whatever, in general, like something happens like
in stand-up, because I react different.
Depending on the
situation or the domain. I mean,
okay, let's do the stand-up thing because I'm very curious how
in stand-up, if I have a hustler, most of the time I try.
Or a bad night, basically.
Or a bad
something
night.
That's really bad.
Most of the time I blame myself.
So you blame yourself, right?
Because, but not in a harsh way. You're stupid. You don't deserve to be. More.
So your voice is kind of cool with you. I mean,
I'm cool with myself, but most of the time I'm saying to myself that stand up, from what I'm seeing, stand up is like relationship. And I blame you as an audience to come to my show and not looking up what you're going to. I mean, I'm on the internet. I have a blog, I have a vlog, I have a stand-up special on YouTube. You can see my material. If you come to my show and you're surprised of most of the things I'm saying, you're plain stupid. You're like going to a Tinder date with someone you never met. You don't know any picture, you don't know nothing. You should research a little bit, because we live in a society.
Yeah, that's the...
We have the internet, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. You can see a lot of material about your comedian. If you come to my show and you don't like it, and you have, I don't know, a full audience that's you have the chemistry with them, but there's one that's disturbing the audience, I'm using, I don't know if that's fair to do, but I'm using the audience as an ally to make him stop. Invite him politely to leave if he is not in the mood for my material. But if he gets really aggressive or I don't know, cocky about something, I'm using the audience vibe to make him feel small, and that's working most of the time.
Okay, so basically you forgive yourself easily, like you blame yourself?
I blame myself for not delivering what most of the audience wanted, but then I'm doing this for a lot of time. I don't know if enough time, but a lot of time, and I'm thinking I'm doing this, I believe in my material, I'm thinking this way, I'm not a joker, I'm not a buffoon to come and say jokes about your mamas or something like that. I have my strictly material, and I believe in it. If you believe it, you'll laugh or you'll think about what I'm saying. If not, it's nothing to blame. It's a show. It's like going to the theater or to the movie.
That's a healthy attitude from you. I mean, it's okay, but you have also a brain who lets you be like this. Most people really... The reason I'm asking is because a lot of people, when they fail, it's very hard to get back.
The therapy helped a lot, because in the beginning I was blaming myself for every fail, for every bad show.
It took a long time. It took a long time I know people who get under the covers, they don't come out a long time, and it becomes the way they are. Right?
But it consumes you. It will eat you alive, and
if you don't. I don't know, what's your strategy? For me, I try to do some plans and look at the future, start to leave that shit behind, but it's very hard for
it's still hard for me, but look, 2 weeks ago I had a stand-up comedy show somewhere in a small city, far from Bucharest, and let's be honest, it's not an academic city, no, I don't know, huge amount of intellectuals or people attracted by history and anthropology, or I don't know, jokes about sexuality, but not in a sex way, more in a psychological way of putting things. I was saying my material, people were like, okay, it's not funny in a common way. The show was meh, I don't know,
okay, I can take it or leave.
I can take it for them. The show for them was, okay, I think I could have done something better with my money. But when I was staying in my hotel room, I was like, not the audience for me. And I was not able and interested in delivering something for them. Probably because I'm not able to do that. Because I think I'm not good enough to make, easy material, in my opinion. It's not something I'm good at. I really can't take a joke about women driving and going to I don't know where with it. No,
so it was not your.
Yeah. I think it's a problem because a lot of my jokes comes from what I'm reading, and I read a lot in a certain domain. And if you don't read the same jokes, or if you
don't have the reference,
they don't have the reference, or they don't have the interest, or they don't have the perspective. Now I'm reading a book about gypsies, their culture, their religion. It's a great book, wrote by a sociologist, and I think it's an anthropologist also. And now I know a lot of the gypsy community. but I know in a good perspective. I can understand them better. I can report myself to their community better. If I go in a racist community in Romania and make jokes about how nice and how cool the gypsy community is, about their music, about their religion, about their traditions, what do you imagine the reactions will be?
It's not going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good show. But that's what I believe in. It's easier to go in a Romanian, stand-up club and make jokes about the gypsies. It's the easiest way. But I'm not in
cannot
the
come
point.
up with another viewpoint or something.
You cannot come up with another viewpoint
and make it funny in the same time. So
you can go everywhere in the country and make a joke about how gypsies steal, most of the time iron or something. And everyone will laugh because gypsies steal. Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah, we know that. But if you come with a different perspective, it's going to be different.
Yeah, some neurons have to move there. What the fuck is this guy saying? It doesn't go well with
you have to know different informations about the topics I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. The most comedians I've seen, like, they really tackle everyday stuff everybody knows. They don't want you to move.
Still funny.
Not one neuron, but that's the mainstream type of.
It's still funny,
comedy,
but it's the mainstream.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for me. I don't have a mainstream life. I mean, I don't go in the same groups. I don't see the same things.
Yeah, I've seen you perform, like, for corporate people, for other, you have kind
you
of a
saw
different...
me in a corporate.
Well, we've been to Craiova together, and that was not something that you expect a stand-up comic to be. Like your tech conference where I was a speaker and you were a stand-up comic.
Actually, there I was a demotivational speaker. I was in my demotivational.
Still, everybody laughed. It was like a number there.
Yeah, but you saw that it was a pretty high level of understanding the topics.
Yeah, they liked it.
I remember that I made fun of
them.
And they were okay with that.
Yeah,
and I was okay. This is great. Actually, sorry for interrupting. Yesterday I wrote something on my blog about the stand-up comedy phenomenon in Romania and worldwide, making reference to one comedian in Romania, and I've discovered in an article 2 weeks ago about the perspective of hitting down and hitting up. In stand-up, when you're hitting down, you're making jokes about the gypsies, the poor, the women, and something like. Hitting up, it's jokes about politicians, corporate, something like that. And reading that article and thinking yesterday while I was writing my article, I've discovered that I'm hitting left and right. That's my style. I'm not hitting down most of the time. I'm not hitting far up. Because
so you're staying on the same level.
Yeah, I'm staying on the same level, and practically I'm hitting my friends, something like that. I mean, you come to my show, we're probably at the same level of understanding information. We have probably the same knowledge about life, and I'm hitting you for different reasons. I don't know, slacktivism, Facebook, stupid post you made, something like that.
But you have your core audience. I mean, there are people who.
Yeah,
really
and I'm really proud of them. It's a small and active core audience.
The best way. The best way to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so just because we're getting to the end here, I would like to, ask you some life lessons learned. I always ask people, like, if there is something that you would recommend or something that you learned from your hustling, from your career, what would it be? Like, on your own, not read about them or.
It's really hard to give life lessons because I have a different life from anyone else.
Sure, but it doesn't really matter.
I don't think it applies someone else. I mean, the best life lesson I can give it's try to learn as much as possible. I mean, yesterday I saw on LinkedIn a friend of mine that's giving.
It applies to everybody.
Yeah, but yesterday I saw on LinkedIn a friend of mine is giving free Excel lessons, and I've never been interested in Excel. It's a different language for me, but it sounded interesting. I was like, probably at some point in life I will need to know something about Excel. I don't know, to make math formulas and split sheets, and I don't know. That's everything I know to make split sheets. But try to learn something new. I don't know. Reading books always helps.
Yeah.
Going to
learning from other people.
Learning from other people, but from specialists, from people that are really good in a domain.
And if there were some books you would recommend, I don't know, related to the subject or something like that, like for people, what would be 1-2 books that had an impact on you?
An impact on me, I don't know. A lot of books. Look, a good book that I've read recently was George Ritzer. He's a sociologist, and he wrote how do I translate it in McDonald?
It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's George Ritzer, and he wrote a book about globalization and localization and globalization. There are some terms about the way.
We're gonna have this book in the description.
Yeah, I'll give you the link. And it's a great book that will help you understand the world we're living in. Most of the, I don't know, Western civilization, like we call it. But recently I've discovered perspective of reading. And if you hate something, read about it. Because I'm reading, I don't hate the gypsy community. Actually, I'm in the opposite. I like them since I was a kid. Now I'm reading this book as a pleasure context. But I was talking with a friend that's racist, mainly with the gypsies. You know, the Romanian type of racist. I'm not racist, but I hate the gypsies.
Yeah.
And I was saying, have you ever read something about them? No, I've seen them on the streets, stealing. I know from the news and shit. Read something about them, because you'll have a really new perspective about that community. If you hate the Muslims, read something about them. Read the Quran. If you hate the Jews, read about them. If you hate Christians, I'm an atheist since, 14. Actually, now I'm starting to understand Christianity better, reading their books, I've read the Bible when I was a teenager. That helped me become a better atheist.
Yeah, right.
But now I understand the need of Christianity. The proper need, the grannies. We all laugh about them because they go to kiss, moaște, the corpses, saint corpses.
Yeah, and always doing this.
Yeah, the symbols. But now I understand the motivation they have. And that helped me not be so, mad about it.
Yeah, so you widen your perspective of the things that, bother you or not bother you anyway.
Yeah.
You widen everything, because most people, I don't know where they get the information. Italians are like that, Americans are like that, Chinese are like that.
Jokes and news.
Yeah, so the mainstream idea just gets to you and you stick with it. I mean, you don't even question what information comes, and you say, okay, fuck it, it's like that, and that's it.
I have a problem with the fashion industry. I really hate it, because what they're doing for women, the stereotypic way of molding the mind of women to wear something to look prettier, all that bullshit. And I said, okay, I have to know more about how it's a thing, fashion. I start reading a sociologist's perspective, a philosopher perspective, a psychologist's perspective, a fashion designer perspective, so I can understand the things about it. And that's my advice. If you hate something, read about it.
That's good advice.
Because, okay, if you still hate it at the end of your book, now at least you know why you hate it.
Yeah, and you have arguments on both sides.
Exactly.
Usually comedians argue both sides, and they are right all the time. So they have arguments on the right side and the left side. So
yeah, that will help a lot if you learn from both perspectives, the point of view.
That's very, very good advice. Okay, so book recommendations. You gave us this book.
George Ritzer. I'll look it on Goodreads and Book Up now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. How's that working?
We're gonna launch in September. It's a social network now, so you're gonna post on Facebook, but only for people who read. You quotes, books, stuff like that. So it's basically your audience there for sure. So only people who read. It's an Instagram for people who read, basically.
Do you have you'll have a party, something at the
Yeah,
great,
we're gonna have a
with
release,
books flying from the sky?
Yeah, books, and that social network. It's about connection and growth, basically. So we'll see what's happening with that.
Anyway, great idea.
If it's a failure, then we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a subject for this podcast. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Like Trump would say it. It's the best.
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best fail.
Best app ever.
It's the best fail ever.
It's the best fail ever. Okay, George. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for the invitation. And
good luck with stand up, with whatever you're doing. Maybe
I'm trying to do less of anything, and now I'm in a period that I'm writing more. I work on another book. And
I also write a book. I have a lot of things in common, but I have to really.
We can make a hub together and make things work. I would like to see you on stage.
Yeah.
As a comedian, so I don't know.
Maybe I'll try it.
Try it. 10, 5, 1 hour.
1 hour? Yeah, no way. Maybe I'm gonna do the open mic thing for a while.
Let's go there and have some fun. I'll be the hustler.
This time I'm ready, man. My mind is
a
lot saner than it was before. So.
My fists are ready.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.